Hey Rush, it's Reckless here, and welcome to a brand new video. This time we have a special guest, so say hello to Freeloader.
And welcome. This is not an episode of the Brood Sages. This is just me, but I wanted to say real quick, Reckless, thank you so much for the invite. This is awesome.
Yeah, I hope you have lots of fun commentating all these matches. For those that aren't aware, I have been hosting a draft tournament, and today we have a special match between Overdrive and Frozen Earth. This whole footage has been captured from Overdrive's point of view, and Overdrive being the Ironclad player as always, and Frozen Earth being the Shadowfen player. The deck list will be placed on screen, so without further ado, let's take a look at what went down in Stage 1 of Draftbound.
And we begin Game 1, Overdrive at the bottom, Frozen Earth on top. Overdrive, apparently needs to add sound effects. He has a bit of a heavy opening hand here. Gifted Recruit's only card to be played. We're probably going to cycle ahead of time, and we do, in fact, the booming. He chooses to play for tempo rather than the 3 health body of the sound drivers there, Reckless.
Yeah, so when it comes down to draft, the draft game mode is extremely reliant on value. So I would personally have just dropped down the 3 strength body over the 2 strength, 1 strength. The 2 mana, 1 strength.
Ooh, and Frozen comes back with 4 from the Siege Breakers, which is bad news for Overdrive now that he knows that they're... Oh, and he actually does have a construct in his deck, 1 singular, the personal service we see along with the upgrade point. What are we going to do here? We're going to move the Siege Breakers out of the way to protect his units. Okay.
I like how the Windmakers just like shoved the Siege Breakers to the right. Just threw it right there. Like,
get on out of here. Frozen Earth still with front, however, and 5 mana. Okay, he converts.
Yes. So Clerics is actually really strong in this game mode. I think like 4 mana right there, that was literally a 4 mana for 7 strength value because you steal the 2 strength and then you're pretty much putting it to your side. So that's 4 strength for you, technically. And then you have a 3 strength body on top of that. That was pretty strong turn by Frozen.
Yeah, I always loved having Clerics when I was playing in the lower levels. I always felt like it was such a great value play. This is good here. Green Gales and the Spare Dragonling together. He gets a buff to chip away more of the Cleric's body and then gets the rebuff coming back the other way. That's a decent sized unit to worry about here for Frozen Earth. Response.
I think the issue here is that at 6 mana, you guys know what's coming.
Oh,
and
no.
There we see it. There we see it. The
that's
Fordia comes out.
Good. Not only is it good because it clears and puts so much potential value on the board, but look at Overdrive's hand. He can't get there. He's sitting on the answer.
Yeah, that's so rough. You have the card for it, and you just don't have the front line to actually make the play. So these dragon eggs are going to hatch, and oh my goodness, they're going to become like monsters in one day.
Dear.
Go to be monsters.
Yeah, this is the day this is literally the stuff of nightmares for me, is sitting on the tech card for the exact situation that you're in and you don't have the front to respond. Oh, this feels terrible. Now, Overdrive did come back around to Windmakers a little early, so he might be able to play some defense here and stave off the potential lethal. His hand just looks awkward.
Yeah, like Siren... the bad part about this is Siren really doesn't do much.
Oh, stop the presses. Wait a minute. The 1-2 punch, the perfect, the most dangerous, the most suitable, the Dan suitablest of 1-2 punches. This is just putting Overdrive on his back foot now.
Oh my goodness, this is just disgusting. 6 mana for 12 strength, was that? Yeah, 6 mana for 12 strength.
Technically, he stays alive here.
He's trying, but tell you the truth, I think it's best we just cover our eyes here.
Yeah,
Can't watch this anymore.
Yes. For those of you at home who are easily triggered, please look away.
Say your prayers, Overdrive.
Does Frozen Earth run a runner? Oh, he does have a runner. Okay, well then the game is over. Salty Outcast for the win.
Actually a pretty fast match. I like how both players actually played pretty confident with their plays. Either they just didn't have any other cards to play, or they're just very sure of what they're doing. But they play pretty fast, honestly.
Yeah, Overdrive's plays there felt his hands, pardon me, not his plays, but his hands felt a little clunky early. He had a lot of his top end, and so his opening was a little on the low tempo side. But I felt like he recovered until that just brutal turn with Cordia. So let's get into game 2. Again, Overdrive on the bottom, Frozen Earth on top. Frozen gets to go first this time. And we have a freebooters sighting. Okay.
Oh, so now last game, Frozen Earth started his first turn with the Siege Breakers on the board, and now it looks like Overdrive's going to want to. Yep, there it is. So he sets down his own Siege Breakers on the first turn.
Honestly, in equals, Siege Breakers is such a great card. I mean, 4 mana for 4 value on the board is,
That's
very
already good enough.
Yeah,
And then you have the bonus effect, like it's so gross. One thing I want to point out is that since this is game 2 and Overdrive lost the first game, that means that there are up to 2 games remaining. If Overdrive loses this one, he will be sent to loser's bracket. So there is a lot more stress for Overdrive here, whereas Frozen Earth can afford 1 loss.
So we're staring at a heroic play here for the clean trade, or okay, we are going to go super aggressive here and just say,
I think that's a little bit ambitious. I'm not so sure. I don't think Overdrive runs too many aggressive cards, so it's kind of strange to me. I mean, I think I would have just cleared the front line there with heroic.
well, he saw most of the deck. There isn't really a 5 mana or under runner he has to worry about. So one of those is going to make it in, which means he also gets to keep his full front, which is always pretty exciting. And there it is. The Lynxes clear one of the 2 damage. But right now, and look at this Victor's play, for example. This Victor's play feels very good. So does Booming, though. Which do you like better here?
Personally, I think I would have Booming, but Victor just has so much value. So either play is actually very strong. At this point, don't you think we should Psycho Booming? However,
I do. Yeah, I think it's... no, we're going to... Okay. Yeah,
he was thinking about it, though.
He was, and he went with
juggling it in his hand, and then
he
just misclicked. He misclicked.
Is that what Heroic Soldiers is so OP. But here, Frozen's in trouble. If he does have Cordia, he knows that the chances of it going off are pretty low. So
this is so funny. Wait, Frozen Earth's turn 1 was freebooters, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Oh my gosh! And that turn. That had to hurt. That's all he had even after he played the freebooters was nothing else. That must have been a dud of a hand. So here we are left with so we can play the boomers. We kept it in hand. If we kept it in hand, isn't this what we kept it for?
I think you're just booming here. I mean, keep them at 3, have a lot of options, potential lethal. You also have running Siren in the deck, so
right. Yep. So that feels pretty good. But instead, we're thinking about some sort of spare Dragonling Greengale kind of value play, which wouldn't be the worst thing in the world.
I wouldn't do that. However, like 5 mana, you're missing out on the booming chip. And...
Oh wait. Okay, this feels like so this is backwards. I think you actually want to put spare Dragonling in column 2, and Greengale in 4.
Yeah, this definitely was misplay. Either could have been time pressure or something.
I think so. He was the rope was, and you can never trust the rope. It tells you still have 1/3 of the rope left, and you don't have 1/3 of the rope left.
Yeah, so you see the rope, then you look at the board, then you don't even realize the rope, and then it's already over.
Right, exactly.
So
okay,
this play, so you take 1 damage, and then that's just
it's not quite lethal. Booming
close. 1 mana up, and that would have been lethal with the Siren there.
Yep. Or if his booming was level 2.
Yes, his booming was level 2. Close.
All right, gets the clean trade with the personal servers, and then tucks the heroic into. I like this play.
Yeah, I like this play.
I like that play a lot.
Is there any answer from Frozen Earth here? I mean, you have to clear, otherwise Siren just wins. So
right. Salty won't do it. I don't think there is. Not in his deck.
Yeah. So
Okay, Siege Breakers can clear
clear-
1, but for 4 mana, do you have anything that's got 5 health? No, you
No.
don't. Yeah.
Yeah. So
So
that's
that's
gonna
just gonna
take
be
game
game.
one.
Game 2. Yep. Game
Oh,
2.
game two. Sorry about that. Yes, it will take game two, and that would put the score at 1-1 for the final match, for the final game to end the match.
Back in the old day, I can say that because of my advanced age. Back in the old day, we referred to game 3 as the rubber match.
Oh, I actually had no idea.
Yeah. When it was 1 game apiece, the last game was the rubber match, the one to decide it all. So both players now effectively know the entirety of their opponent's decks. I don't think there's a card that hasn't been played from either. And Overdrive has to be seriously concerned about Cordia turns. Frozen gets to go first again, and we've had some dud openers or some dud hands from FrozenEarth so far. The 2 freebooter turns, and then Rain never feels good as an opener. Okay.
Yeah, honestly, I'm not too sure about that. Like you said, a lot of his hands were just they must have been no good because he's been playing some very awful turns. I think that partially has to do with the Hysteria inclusion, though. Like Hysteria has seen no play this entire game. He's definitely been
that's true.
cycling though.
Yeah.
So-
No, I was wrong about that. You're right. I did say earlier that I think both players played their entire hands. I forgot that FrozenEarth does have Hysteria in his deck.
Right.
Yeah, this feels. I mean, this is as best as you can hope to do when your entire front line is bogged up.
So what would you do here? Heroic Soldiers, or do you take the Green Gale value?
I mean, the Green Gale value is really nice here because if you play it in 1, it will double buff itself and survive at 1 health, but it will also double buff the spare Dragonling. And that's pretty nice because 2 units, a total of 4 health, I think you get to keep your... Oh, well, he was definitely going in on that play then because he threw away his 5 mana play. So that's
Yeah,
what
I
we're
mean,
doing.
The way you mention it though is correct because you're still getting a 5 strength out of it. You're still getting 5 strength out of this
Right.
play. So the main difference is that you're actually killing off, I guess, one red toad, and you're just spreading the health a bit more, I guess. And you also have a potential dragon for Spirit Trigger.
Yep. Although you have to assume that the Green Gale is going to get cleared here or converted because there is that clerics. The 3 health is outside of clerics range, so that's good news actually. Is the spare Dragonling, which is a little dangerous. Oh, and there it is.
Oh, just dodging a bullet there. If he took the spare,
In a deck with Dansu, right? Like that feels really crazy bad. All right, so we have a couple of plays here. Victor's has no real utility. I mean, you technically, I guess you could trade it into the satyrs on the right, and that would clear the ravens on the baseline.
It wouldn't clear, but it would do 2.
Right. So I'm not in love with that play. That leaves you with 2 single health units on the board on 6 mana. That feels bad.
I think what I would do is upgrade point and then personal servers behind that. You buff the dragon, keeping it a little bit alive.
Oh,
Okay.
I like this play. I like this play. This gives the dragons now win the trade. So in order to stop the personal servers, you need a unit to first attack into the dragon and then a second to clear the personal servers.
That's true.
Or you need siege breakers.
Yeah, Siege Breakers would be actually disgusting here. But it's probably unlikely, no? But then again, these cycles, recently people have noticed some weird cycling where you just play a card and then very short turns after you just draw it back unexpectedly. So, Powder Tower.
Powder Tower. Oh, speaking of siege breakers, you know what would be really good right now?
Yes, Siege Breakers, of course.
I don't feel like Windmakers is going to see a play here. Is that the play? Is we throw Windmakers back?
I also think it's extremely funny how you mentioned earlier how there's only one construct in the deck, and Overdrive made use of the
He got the
upgrade
trigger?
point value.
He did.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, what a great turn that was for him. Yeah. Oh, and we hit it. Unfortunately, he threw his 3 mana card back. So
Oh my goodness.
all he can do here is siege breakers. I
There's like
think
some funny plays where like it's just dumb funny though, where you could like set down your booming professors to take the hit. But that's just really bad, bro.
that would
That'd
have
just
been
be so
funny.
funny.
That would have been
That
very
would have
funny.
been funny at least.
Yeah, I think in a game of equals, when you only have 10 health to begin with, it's a little
Oh,
risky leaving front. Okay, okay. So he just saw siege breakers, so Frozen now thinks he's safe.
but he doesn't
Uh,
expect the victors coming
no one
here.
expects victors coming.
The victors, oh my god, the
Oh, that's
value.
so heartbreaking.
That's disgusting. That
So,
might just actually close up the game there. Like,
I think
oh my goodness.
that is such a tempo swing
This is
back.
a smart move by Overdrive. If you just deal that one damage, you can actually get them to 6, which is just in lethal range from Siren.
And there she is. Yep, Siren is there. He also could have played it in column 2 defensively to stop any runners this turn. That was a potential play.
Yeah,
Uh,
I don't know, as a rush player,
yeah,
I
no,
don't
no,
know
no.
if I would
Make him
really
have it.
defend it.
No, no, I don't think. Well, I mean, your front is basically locked in. I don't know that you can clear.
Rebooters are just hilarious. He just freebooters and he like ends his turn with remaining mana, like every time.
It's
Every
yeah.
time a
The
freebooter.
freebooters are getting him no value. It really hurts.
It definitely hurts.
Uh, I'm not in love with much aside from booming professors here.
I mean, you could also sirens and deal 4, but and then just booming finish. Like that's also a play actually.
That's potential. That's potential.
But booming also sounds very nice here.
Yeah, and then you can just tuck
Deal
the dragon
3.
somewhere where it's okay, or you can just throw it as far forward as you like. I was gonna say maybe you
Okay.
try to tuck it somewhere to give yourself a little bit more of a chance of guaranteeing front. Although he's got so much front right now,
Yeah, it's true. That upgrade point's been sitting there the whole game too. I'm surprised
buffing
FrozenEarth
nothing.
hasn't even set down his siege breakers yet. He has siege breakers in the deck, but we haven't seen it like provide any value. And then
Oh,
Cordia comes out again.
you were just talking about how there's been some weird cycles,
Yeah, I
but
actually was. Yeah, you're right. And then we see Cordia again. Just
hmm. Oh, and
it
the
has to do
rain.
with freebooters. Freebooters did it.
That's what it was. Yeah, and the rain did not stop the runner. So we've got the final game in the bag here. Overdrive takes the match 2-1.
The underdog. Yeah, he lost the first match just to. He lost the first game just to give Frozen Earth maybe some, a bit more confidence, and then just take it all back. Just win the
That's
2
it.
games in a row.
Drops the first game, has him right where he wants him.
So that's gonna take the match. So Overdrive win it being the victor of the 2 that sends Frozen Earth to the losers bracket. And I mean, what did you think about the games overall, Freeloader?
I have to say, I'm not a particularly strong equals player, but my knee jerk reaction from looking at the deck list before we started was that Frozen Earth's combo of Cordia into Dansu seemed super powerful. And in fact, game 1 went exactly how I thought the games would go in my mind, which was the game plan is stick a Cordia, get the eggs to hatch, play a giant Dansu, win. And I wasn't sure if Overdrive was going to be able to stop that forever, especially with having better cycling potential late game with freebooters. I thought like, oh wow, Frozen Earth just wants the game to go long and then wins. But Overdrive really played fantastically, holding on to that victors and not cycling it when he already saw Cordia, pardon me, when he saw the Powder Tower and he played the Siege Breakers to clear it, and holding on to that victors, just sort of saying, okay, he's playing around my Siege Breakers, so I'm gonna play Siege Breakers here, and then he's gonna play Cordia. That read and that bait into the play was phenomenal.
Yeah, 100% agree. I think in the first game, it's possible that we can argue maybe Overdrive was being a little bit more greedy and he didn't expect the Cordia to come out of nowhere, followed by Dansu. The game was already over by then. But here he was playing a lot more cautious, I'd say. He was holding on to at least one card that could clear for Cordia. But at the same time, Frozen Earth had pretty bad hands to say the least, because a lot of the turns he just wasted mana, or when he did play out his cards, they just weren't high value enough. So I think that played pretty major impact the enemy's front line, playing Cordia becomes a lot harder.
Yeah, no,
So-
I think that's very true. I also think it's very important to note for all the viewers watching that even if this game had been played post June or May 1st balance changes, that Green Gale buffing the spare Dragonling still would have occurred exactly as it did. They were in fact surrounding each other.
So that's going to wrap up the end of this video. I just want to say thank you to Freeloaders so much for helping make this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Bye!